Silence. It's not revenge. It's not a tantrum. It's not weakness. It's power. When you finally stop calling, stop texting, stop explaining yourself, it doesn't just confuse them. It haunts them. You see, most people are prepared for drama. They're ready for you to cry, scream, or beg for closure. That's the game they expect. But when you go silent, you flip the script. Suddenly the person who thought they had all the power is left alone with their own guilt. Their mind, once so full of pride and excuses, turns against them. As the poet Rumi said, "The quieter you become, the more you are able to hear." And trust me, when you go silent, they hear everything. Every mistake, every betrayal, every reason you walked away. Studies show that silence triggers anxiety in the human brain faster than conflict. Why? Because the unknown is terrifying. They can't predict what you're thinking. They can't control you anymore. And that's when their guilt starts to creep in. Little by little, it gnaws at them. They remember your loyalty, your patience, your sacrifices, the things they thought they could replace. But guess what? You can't replace real love. You can't replace someone who actually cared. Real talk. 84% of people admit they didn't realize the value of someone until they lost their presence completely. Think about that for a second. You are the storm they never saw coming. When you pull your energy away, you're forcing them to meet the one person they've been avoiding all along. Themselves. No distractions, no validation, just the harsh echo of everything they did wrong. And if you think this guilt is just a passing feeling, you're wrong. It builds, it festers, it grows until the silence feels unbearable. Today, I'm going to show you 5 brutal things that happen when you stay silent, and why their guilt doesn't just spark for a moment. It, sets fire to everything they thought they knew. Stick with me until the end. Because when you see the full picture, you'll understand why silence isn't passive at all. It's the loudest scream you'll ever make. If you're ready to stop chasing and start commanding respect, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and comment below. My silence is my power. Say it. Own it. Become it. Because the moment you master silence, everything changes. Multi 1. Their confidence starts to crack. At first, they'll pretend they're fine. They'll act unbothered, post smiling selfies, maybe even hang out with new people. Don't fall for it. Because deep underneath the highlight reels and fake confidence, something brutal is happening. They're losing control over the version of you they had in their mind. The truth is, most people are terrified of silence. In relationships, constant communication becomes a safety net. When you rip that away, it doesn't just feel like distance. It feels like abandonment. The silence makes them question everything. Did I screw this up? Why haven't they texted me yet? Are they really over me? Suddenly, the image they built up, that you'd always be there waiting, starts to crumble. As Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Your silence is you withdrawing your consent. You're no longer playing your role in their story. You've walked off their stage. And now, the spotlight is on their mistakes. And here's where it gets even worse for them. The longer you stay silent, the louder their insecurities become. Every moment you don't reach out chips away at the fantasy they clung to. Every unanswered call, every unread message they don't dare send reminds them that maybe, just maybe, they messed up something they can't fix. And that's just the beginning. What happens next will hit them even harder. 2. They start obsessively watching you. Once the cracks in their confidence begin to show, their next brutal reaction is almost predictable. They become obsessed with you, not in some cute, harmless way. In the watching you from the shadows, silently checking every move kind of way. They'll stalk your social media like it's their full-time job. They'll look at your stories, your posts, even your old photos. They'll reread old texts, hunting for clues they missed. Anything to feel closer to you without risking the humiliation of reaching out first. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung said, "What you resist persists." They might resist contacting you, but that doesn't stop their mind from spiraling. They resist their guilt, their regret, their longing, but it only intensifies in the quiet. Silence makes you a mystery again, and nothing is more addictive to the human mind than a mystery it can't solve. The more you stay silent, the bigger you become in their mind. You're no longer the person they thought they had figured out. You've become the one who slipped away, the one they can't reach, can't control, can't predict. And here's the best part. Every move you don't make drives them deeper into their own obsession. You're not chasing, you're not explaining, you're just living. Meanwhile, they're trapped, replaying every memory, every conversation, every mistake, wondering if they ever really knew you at all. And trust me, that's when the real panic starts. What comes next? Even worse. They realize they have no control over you anymore. At this point, something terrifying happens for them. They realize they can't control you anymore. Not through guilt, not through attention-seeking games, not through silent expectations. Nothing. See, before, they were used to a version of you that was predictable. Someone who cared enough to always be available, to always forgive, to always stay. But your silence is a revolution. It's proof that you're no longer dancing to their tune. As Tony Robbins once said, when you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. But when they see you grateful for yourself, grateful without them, it doesn't bring them abundance, it brings them fear. They start realizing they can no longer bait you with little texts. They can no longer pull you back with memories. They can no longer manipulate your emotions to make themselves feel powerful. And it kills them. Because losing control over you means losing a part of their own ego, a part they depended on to feel important, validated, adored. Suddenly, you are the one holding the power without even lifting a finger. And here's the wildest part. The less you engage, the harder they scramble behind the scenes, trying to find a new strategy, a new way back into your life. But deep down, a brutal truth is sinking in. The version of you they thought would always be there doesn't exist anymore. And that reality? It hits like a freight train. But trust me, we're just getting to the most gut-wrenching stages. Or their guilt turns into self-hatred. When they realize they can't control you anymore, a brutal transformation happens inside them. Their guilt stops being about you and starts turning against themselves. It's no longer just, I miss them, or maybe I made a mistake. It mutates into something far darker. I ruined this. I pushed away the best thing I had. I don't deserve them anymore. As the great Sigmund Freud said, unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. And that's exactly what's happening now. All the guilt they tried to bury, It comes roaring back with a vengeance. They replay every moment you forgave them, every time you were patient, every time you loved them deeper than they deserved. And now, in the silence, they finally realize just how badly they took it all for granted. It's like a movie they can't stop watching, except this time, they're the villain. They start feeling the weight of what they lost, not because you screamed at them, not because you demanded closure, but because your absence left them alone with the truth they can't run from. And self-hatred is a brutal, lonely place to be. It eats away at confidence. It robs people of their peace. It makes them question their worth and whether they'll ever get a second chance. And for some, it's the beginning of the biggest emotional collapse they've ever experienced. But it's not over yet. What happens next is where everything truly falls apart. 5. They make a desperate, clumsy move to win you back. After guilt has chewed them up and spit them out, after they've sat with their self-hatred and watched you glow without them, there's only one thing left for them to do. They break. And when they break, they don't come back gracefully, with some perfect romantic gesture like in the movies. No. They come back messy, desperate, and clumsy. They might send a half-hearted, "I miss you" text at 2 a.m. Or they'll suddenly show up in your DMs after months of silence, acting like nothing happened. Maybe they even try to casually invite themselves back into your life, offering friendship or asking innocent questions, because facing the full weight of what they've done is too heavy to carry alone. As the legendary Maya Angelou said, "When people show you who they are, believe them the first time." Their desperation is not just about missing you, it's about trying to escape the emotional hell they created for themselves. Here's what's brutal, though. They don't come back because they're fixed. They come back because you feel safe. And right now they feel unsafe, alone, and lost. They're hoping you'll soothe the guilt they can't handle. They're hoping you'll rescue them from the pain of facing themselves. And this is the moment where your true power shines. You'll realize you don't need to take them back. You don't have to fix what they broke. You already healed yourself in the silence they couldn't survive. If you made it this far, you already know. Silence isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the loudest statement you'll ever make. I am no longer available for disrespect. So, if you're ready to step fully into your power, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Silence is my revenge. Because when you master the art of walking away without a word, you become unforgettable. And the ones who took you for granted, they'll never escape the echo of losing you.